Hi everybody, just a quick showcase video just to show off my 10 stroke 12mm Teutonic army. I've built this up over a long period of time, primarily use it to play to the strongest or sword and spear, yeah, just wanted to share with you really some of the units. These are predominantly Callistra with a mixture of Magister Militum and some other manufacturers to boot. So I just want to show you a little bit of what I've got, how I've built it up, and focusing on a few of the units in particular, just to show you some of the finer details. Okay, so first of all, we've got the Teutonic crossbowmen with pavises, which I've put onto separate bases. Again, just to make that easier. Sometimes units won't have them, sometimes they will. In a lot of games, you have to pay extra to have them, so I can make a kind of a decision there on whether I want those or not. I've tried to go for very much a weathered look on the shields in terms of the white being an off-white rather than brilliant white, and the crossbowman again just very sort of standard painting detail there. Let's try and focus that in a little bit. There we go. Obviously these chaps, they still all chainmail the regular troops of the nobles. But likewise, we've got some other crossbowmen over here who are not of the nobles. So these are more kind of levy crossbowmen from that point of view. Sorry, the detail is not great there, but hopefully you can get a feel for those. So that's the crossbowmen. If we go a little bit closer in, we can see some of the knights. So Teuton armies were always heavy on mounted knights. It was their preferred method from the Crusades to fight on horseback. Again, fairly sort of standard painting, Wargame standard I would call it. And again, these were based quite a long time ago, before I started using the backer system. So these were just a straightforward brown base gluing on flock, but to be honest, because the figures take up a lot of the bases, they don't need much more than that. So we've got 3 units of those with the commander. Again, he'll be a lord, a noble, but you can get a feel for him there. And then behind those, we've got the foot, the brothers, as they would be called. So these again were your kind of spearmen. Again, fairly kind of standard painting, but again, because of the colours, they look, I think, pretty super from that point of view. We've got some more brother knights at the top mounted, and then at the back here, which I'm now going to bring up, we've got some of the Crusader knights. So some of these guys were mercenaries that chose to fight for the Teutons after the Crusades. They had nowhere to go, no cause to fight for, so they would hire themselves out to anyone who had the money, and the Teutons certainly had the money, and they would fight for them on the battlefield. So that's the mercenary Crusader element. Down the front here, we've got several units of the light horse, as they were. Again, often these were mercenaries. Teutopoles, or Turcopoles, I think they were called. Excuse my pronunciation if that's wrong. So these guys would have short spears and bows, and they were really used to counter the kind of enemies they came across, which were often quite heavy in light horse. So people like the Lithuanians, had heavy numbers of light horse. So the Turcopoles were used to counter that, and they were also very good as screens for the main armies. At the back here, we've got a couple of bombards. These are lovely models. I really enjoyed putting these together. Lots of nice little details in there with the cannonballs and the bits on the front to sort of protect, screen the cannon. The other one is very similar, slightly different painting dynamics. These were often manned by levies, so they didn't have any kind of uniform as such. And then at the back, which I use as a backup to the main troops, these are levies, so these would be just sort of often spearmen villages that would come out and fight for the Teutons. And I've got a couple of sort of big bases of these. Again, just use them for levy. Finally, over the other side, we've got mounted crossbowmen, which again the Teutons did use. Crossbow was their favoured shooting weapon, so we've got a unit of those. We've already covered the levy crossbowmen, and finally over here we've got some gunpowder weapons. So these were starting to be used at this point, and the Teutons did use gunpowder weapons, so we've got a unit or so of those as well. So overall a good mix of units available for the Teuton. Sorry, with the focus here, let's just zoom that out a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it's a lovely army to play. It's very much an army of attack as opposed to an army of defense, although it does have good defensive capabilities with the cannons, the foot crossbows, etc. But their main tactics were to get the mounted troops into the action as soon as they could and win by power of the cavalry, really. And in any games we play, they are always very difficult to take out and take out of a game. So I hope that's just giving you a little insight into my Teutonic army. I hope you've enjoyed the video, enjoyed looking at the figures, and I hope to bring you more very soon.